A little opening note for everybody. A little hint at what is to come. Hello, everybody. Nice to see so many folks here. Thank you so much for being here today. We are on day 3 of our Sirius XM Radio The Village weeks. I want to welcome everybody here to the Daily Antidote of Song. Yoo-hoo! I'm Joe Rossi. I'm the director of the Daily Antidote, and next to me we have Munit Mesfin, amazing singer-songwriter who's been in this room with us a million times. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Let's say hi to everybody who's out there on the live stream. Hi, gang, on the live stream. Nice to see you. And let's say hi to everybody who is here in the room joining us today. We're so glad you're here. I'm going to say hi to Mary, who's running tech for us today out of Greenfield, Mass. Hi to Busy Graham, Executive Director of Carpe Diem Arts. Glad you're here. Deli in Maryland, Susan in Cincinnati, Sheila in Florida, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Bob in Albany, Sarah in Texas, Sue in Seattle, Benet in California, Carolyn in Boise, Idaho, reminding me that today is day 1,613 consecutive days of singing here in the Daily Antidote of Song. Aren't we so lucky? Athena in Brooklyn, Loriana Kachina and Courtney in Vermont, Patricia in Charlottesville. Sydney, I'm not sure where you're coming in from, might be new to us today, welcome. Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts, Arlene in California, Aloysius in Mass, Diane coming in from Puerto Rico, Storm in Mass, Nancy in Washington State, Linda on Orcas Island, Pauline coming in from Newcastle, UK with William in the background, Deborah in Kentucky. Let's see, we've got Curly Tops in Vermont, Dan in Virginia, Laris coming in from the UK, Elizabeth in California, Lynn in Vermont, and Gary in Massachusetts. I think I've got everybody today. Thank you so much for all being here, and we're going to just make a couple little thank yous and announcements. So first, thank you is a huge thank you and a shout out to Sirius XM Radio The Village, and and to Mary Sue Tui, who donated this fabulous ukulele to the Daily Antidote of Song as a fundraiser. So we are going to be singing and playing this uke for these 2 weeks right now, and auctioning it off in October. And the uke is signed by something like 40 people, about 25 of whom we have figured out who their signatures are, and there's another surprise 20 on there that we're hoping we're going to be able to figure out who they are before we keep going through this time. I also want to shout out Carpe Diem Arts for keeping this program going day after day after day. And of course, shouting out Busy Graham, who's in the room with us today, who works tirelessly behind the scenes and has so much to do with the success of this program. And I think those are all our announcements. So Munit has arrived here for our Sirius XM Radio The Village Ukulele Celebration Weeks, coming in from Virginia. But there's something kind of really super fun about this, which is that my mom is here visiting, but also so is Munit's mom. So there's 2 mamas are sitting back there. One mama from Ethiopia and one mama from New Jersey. One of them worked a little harder to get here. And I'm so glad you guys have all joined us today. Munit, I know you've got a great song for us. Can you tell us all about it?
Yes, absolutely. Happy 1613, everyone. And yes, happy mamas behind us. The song that I'm going to be playing is a song by Sweet Honey in the Rock, which is, of course, a group that we all love. The first time I saw them actually was in Smith College. Before I was admitted, I just went there to visit and see what it was like. And that's where I saw them. And they made me cry, and they made me laugh, and they made me feel all of the feelings. And then I also got all of the most wonderful experience of having to be their chaperone when they came to Ethiopia, when I was there doing girls empowerment work with a radio drama, and they were traveling the country, and we got to sing together and work together. So I am a very, very big fan, and this is a song called We Are, and I believe the words are in there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Ysaye's got this amazing, like, bum, 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 bass and boom, bum, bum. Joe's going to be trying to do the bum, 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 bum. I'm not going to be able to do the multitasking. I wish there was everybody from Sweet Honey here with me, but I just got me and a ukulele and Joe, who will feel the vibes, and our mamas, who will probably smile and nod. But the words are in there, and it's the part that gets repeated a lot is, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. That will happen a lot. So if you feel like singing along wherever you are in the world, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. So this is dedicated to all the children of the world who deserve a beautiful world. So in this amazing song, you're going to find out who we are. And there are very many beautiful things. Are we ready?
Absolutely.
In the world?
Let's do it.
1613. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and builders of nations. So seekers of truth and keepers of faith, makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Again, each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time, daughters of dust and sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love, lovers of life and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith, makers of peace and wisdoms of ages. And we are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. And we are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. We are one. Ole.
Munit Mesfin, everybody, please give it up for Munit Mesfin. That was so beautiful, Munit. So Munit was singing a song by Sweet Honey in the Rock. The composer of that song is Ysaye Barnwell. And Ysaye has sung that song in here bunches of times. And Sweet Honey has also chimed in on it. And I want to start by saying that there are signatures on our fabulous ukulele that are Sweet Honey signatures, which is why Munit is singing this one. So if you want, we're going to show you. Yeah, let me see if I can do it. So we got Barbara Hunt here, the sign language interpreter, and we have Rochelle Rice over here, and we have Louise Robinson over here. Carol Maylard is, hang on, right here at the bottom. And Natanju is right above her. And I'm pretty sure that Aisha is one of the signatures that we don't know which one it is. And so big thanks goes out to Sweet Honey in the Rock, Ysaye Barnwell. They've all been incredible supporters of our program. And actually, please join us on Sunday because I will be in New York with Louise and Carol and we'll be singing live from there on Sunday. And we have actually a pretty big, fun surprise for that day, besides just being there. So let's all give it up again for Munit Mesfin.
Thank you.
Munit! We're so glad you could be here with us. Another shout out to Sirius XM Radio The Village and Mary Sue Tui for making all this magic possible. It has been pretty darn magical around here. So Munit, do you want to talk a little bit about who we are and the children?
Well, who we are, it says it in there. It's like one of the songs that once you sing it 5 times, you kind of feel a little bit like empowered as a human being, because you are your grandmother's prayers. You know, who of us have had grandmothers who have not prayed for us? None of us. We've had all grandmothers praying. We've had grandfathers that have been dreaming for us and for the future that we're going to be and the legacy that we carry into this world. I mean, we are always not just by ourselves, but with a million people. I always try to every once in a while remind myself how many ancestors it took for me to be here in this moment, and it's like it's a lot. It takes a lot. I am not just my mother's and my father's. I am not just, my children are not just mine, but it always really is such a huge culmination of so many people from places we know and we don't know, that, if you don't know, all came from Ethiopia though, right? Yeah. So everybody came from Ethiopia, and then after that we don't know, they just kind of went everywhere that they went. And so it's a reminder that we are mothers of courage. I know it takes courage to be in this world and to be in this life, and we are in this time. So it's always something that kind of, when you're stuck in your little mind, which has a lot of things inside of it, it's really nice to have a song like this that kind of expands us a little bit and reminds us that we have mercy in us and courage in us and so much in us and love in us, and we are makers of peace in us, and we have the wisdoms of ages with us. So it's one of those expansive songs that instantaneously takes us beyond who we are right now to all of who we are across the board. So,
Beautiful.
If you want to feel expansive, just jam with some sweet honey in the rock.
That's beautiful, Munit. Thank you so much. So that's actually really neat, because there is some way in which we are actually biologically carrying cells that are made up of our ancestors. And so we are in the moment so many people that we carry both in our minds,
physically,
literally, and
literally. We have, they've kind of proven that there's memory in our genes. So there are traumas that we inherit, and there are strengths that we inherit and wisdoms that we inherit. And there are ways that we evolve. So I think a song like this is also almost always calling us to evolve, to be more of these things, more of the makers of the peace, more of the wisdom of the ages, so that who the next generation sings about are, better people. Every generation could have the opportunity to sing about better people. And all around the world, I think about the children and what they're seeing, and they're not seeing better things. So this is another, again, call and a challenge for all of us to do whatever we're doing to make sure that at the least the children can just grow up without trauma. At the least. If not, at the most, with all of their humans' rights protected, and all of the love, joy, freedom, and play, and all the things that they deserve. So it's constantly calling us to be better, and that's what Sweet Honey does.
Beautiful.
It tries to bring the honey out of the rock.
Beautiful, Munit. Thank you so much. So Munit was saying that she was very influenced by Sweet Honey and the Rock and seeing them live. Anybody in this room ever been influenced by Sweet Honey and the Rock's music? Yeah, okay, perfect. Me too. So I do want to throw today's song out to, of course, Bernice Johnson-Regan and her family, and of course to Ysaye Barnwell, who couldn't be with us in this moment today. But we will also be seeing Ysaye on Saturday. So Ysaye is singing with Dan and Claudia Zanes live with this ukulele on Saturday, and then of course the Sweet Honey's on Sunday. So we've got lots of fun stuff coming up. Munit, do you want to say anything at all about sort of hope and where we are right now? Even though there's lots going on negative in the world, there's also some positive stuff.
There is.
Unless you can't think of any.
I just know. I looked up and there was a rainbow. Literally, I looked up. You see it? There's a rainbow out there. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and I was driving and the air was cool and I feel fall and the seasons change, and that's a good reminder. Everything is constantly changing, so we're not stuck in the mire and the grim, but it is something like, when last week was hot and this week is cool, it's a reminder that we're in seasons, and there are some seasons that are harder than other seasons. I, for one, love fall because all of the radiant colors that come out. I'm a fan of the green. I dig the green, but definitely when all the diversity of the colors come out and it shines, and then they really just show off before they fall away, and then in spring come back again. So it's just a reminder of that, of time.
You're practically quoting from the Rebels poem there. All right, let's get away from the mommies again, please. Away from the mommies. So what's better than this picture right here of two daughters and two mommies? Yeah, okay.
I should have
really
brought
love
my
it.
daughters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. So, Munit, you did say that you weren't able to do the Ysaye Barnwell doo-dum-dooms because now you can do it now.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. And I try,
but you're still an octave too high, though.
It's too much. It's too. She's a magical
She's
person.
unbelievable, yeah. Okay, so I want to thank everybody again for being here and singing with us in another one of our beautiful Sirius XM Radio The Village days. This is our road trip weeks. So far, everybody has been road tripping to my house.
It's like we're afraid to take the ukulele home, Joe. That's the quote. Underneath it is like, we don't want that in our house.
No. But tomorrow, in fact, we will be coming in from our first stop on the road trip, even though the road trip is only around the corner, but we will in fact be road tripping tomorrow. So thanks again to Munit and to everybody for being here. And Munit, I'm wondering if you can sing it again for us.
But of course, are we ready out there? Are we all ready? Because we are one, right? We are one. So that means that we're going to be in perfect harmony. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time, daughters of dust, sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love, lovers of life and builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith, makers of peace and wisdom of ages. And we are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of the ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one. Thank you, sweet honey. Thank you, Ysaye. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Munit Mesfin. That was so incredibly beautiful. I'm just curious, could everybody hear the chickens that were
they were
literally started singing? She would go, for each child that's born, and then would go,
they want to be down too, you know?
I'm super hopeful that is going to come out on the sound of this, that we can hear it later. Okay. So I want to thank everybody again for being here. We're going to do a really quick flyer share right now and show you guys what else we have coming up this week. Munit, thank you again. So today, as you obviously know, we just had Munit Mesfin singing Sweet Honey in the Rock song. Thanks again to Sweet Honey and Ysaye Barnwell and to Munit. Tomorrow we have Maureen Undari. We're coming in from the Institute of Musical Traditions tomorrow. Kathy Fink and Marcy Markser on the 6th, coming in from their home. Dan and Claudia Zanes on the 7th, coming in from Ysaye Barnwell's house, and then I will be in New York with the Carol and Louise on Sunday. So stay tuned for a fabulous week, and next week just keeps getting better. Not that it could get any better than Munit Mesfin. Let's give it up again.
And the chickens and our mamas and Joe.
We couldn't bring Ysaye Barnwell with her low bass, so we came up with the exact opposite, which was the chickens. All right, so thanks again, everybody, so much. Let's give a big wave out to the folks on the live stream. Everybody wave to Mary Sue Toohey also. Mary Sue, we know you're watching these. And thanks again to everybody on Facebook and everybody on YouTube. Thanks for joining us today. Let's give a quick goodbye to everybody in the room. Mary, running our tech from Greenfield. Now the dogs are joining in also. Busy Graham, Carpe Diem Arts Executive Director. Thanks so much for everything you do. Dally in Maryland, Susan in Cincinnati, Sheila in Florida, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Pauline and William coming in from Newcastle, UK, Bob in Albany, Sarah in Texas, Sue in Seattle, Benet in Berkeley, Julie in Ontario, Carolyn in Boise, Linda on Orcas Island, Athena in Brooklyn, Storm in Massachusetts, Dan in Vienna, Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts, Diane in Puerto Rico, Arlene in California, Gary in Mass, Loriana Kachina and Courtney in Vermont, Bob in Massachusetts, Annette in California, Aloysius also in Massachusetts. Let's see who else we have. Cricket in Maryland, and Nancy in Washington State. Dawn and the Curly Tops. Elizabeth in California. Deborah in Kentucky. Margaret, not sure where you're from, but glad you're with us today. Diane in Mass. Kat in Vermont. Lynn and Cliff, both in Vermont. And Hoda in British Columbia. I do hope I got everybody. Thanks so much again for being here, gang. And Munit, will you say a big come back tomorrow to the Daily Antidote of Song?
Come back tomorrow to the Daily Antidote of Song.
Okay, our next theme songwriter right there. Thanks, everybody. See y'all tomorrow. Lots of love.